6 at noon.
It is official. We have our first named hurricane of the 2025 Atlantic season as Hurricane Erin continues to intensify. Sustained winds right now of 75 miles per hour. We'll have the latest forecast cone and some local impacts for us here in Central Florida coming up in minutes.
But first, we start News 6 at noon with breaking news. A second woman is now facing charges in a dog attack that killed an 8-year-old DeLand boy. Deputies say Michael Millett was killed by 2 dogs who got loose from their property back in January. Earlier this week, the Volusia County Sheriff's Office announced the owner of one of the dogs will be charged with a misdemeanor in the actual attack. Now, the owners of both dogs are being charged with tampering with evidence. Our News 6 Volusia County community correspondent Molly Reed is live now at the jail with the very latest.
Julie, the second dog owner, was arrested last night, brought to the jail here, but bonded out shortly after. They're still looking, we're told, for that first original dog owner who was charged. Now, this is the body camera video we're showing you of Brandy Hodel being arrested last night. We're told both owners who live together are now being charged with tampering with evidence. Deputies say they deleted accounts and messages on Facebook where they discussed the dog's violent tendencies and that the dogs were probably cut loose the night Michael Millett was killed by them. Investigators say all of those messages were sent while they were also under investigation for the attack. Volusia deputies say the 8-year-old was mauled by the 2 dogs back in January while he was riding his bike in a neighborhood near DeLand. Now, again, as announced earlier this week, that other dog owner, Amanda Franco, she was also originally charged with the second-degree misdemeanor for her dog's role in the actual attack. Again, deputies are still out looking for her now. In Volusia County, I'm Molly Reed, News 6.
Molly, thank you. Time now to check in on your forecast. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is here tracking the latest with now Hurricane Erin, our first hurricane of the season, Candace.
Yeah, and around 9:30 this morning, we were closely monitoring hurricane hunters. The U.S. Air Force was in there really trying to fine-tune and really get a better handle on all the winds that the system was developing. And for a small point of that storm, they were able to clock hurricane force winds of over 74 miles per hour. Because of that, the National Hurricane Center officially designating it now the first hurricane of the season. Now, when it comes to the latest forecast, the cone really hasn't changed much, which is good news, as that turn is still likely. We should still, of course, stay on high alert, even though the threat for us here in Florida continues to stay on the low end of things, but really looking at large swells and beach erosion possible as we head into early next week. So this is the latest update. You can see how much more organized now Hurricane Erin is. Sustained winds now officially of 75 miles per hour. The only real difference I see right now with this cone compared to the 5 a.m. advisory is how long it could stay now as a Category 4 storm. It's the intensity forecast. At 5, it had it as a Category 4 for a very short period of time, but it looks like it will be moving into extremely warm waters, low wind shear, nice moist air, and that's going to allow it to stay as a major hurricane with sustained winds up to about 140 miles per hour. Still at this point in time, keeping a relatively large distance from us here in Central Florida. But again, we are looking at some really rough surf by next week. We'll have more details on that, as well as the heat advisory that's in place for today coming up in just a few minutes.
Candace, thank you. An arrest in Sanford after a deadly shooting, and police say it all happened during a suspected case of road rage. Police say this started with a fight between 2 drivers last night on State Road 46 and ended in gunfire at an apartment complex. News 6's Mark Lehman was there to find out what police had to say.
The shooting happened right at the front of these apartments west of downtown Sanford, but police say it began about 3/4 of a mile away. We spoke with people who live here, and they say the whole situation has been unnerving.
So for something like that to hear it happened, it's definitely scary.
Giselle Ortiz recently moved to the View at Lake Monroe apartments and learned this morning about a deadly shooting near the complex entrance. What's even more concerning is the gunfire happened around 5:20 in the afternoon, not long after drop-off at the bus stop.
I mean, it's actually pretty devastating because the school bus is right here. You know, my son takes the school bus.
According to Sanford police, the violence began with a fight between 2 drivers near State Road 46 and Mangosteen Avenue. When the cars ended up at the apartments, investigators say 24-year-old Jaden Harris opened fire.
That's something very small. It shouldn't have gotten to where it did. You know, I feel like it definitely could have been prevented.
The victim was taken to the hospital but did not survive. Police say Harris remained on scene and was later arrested on a charge of second-degree murder with a firearm. So far, investigators aren't releasing details about what led up to the shooting. Meanwhile, Ortiz says all of this reinforces her decision to watch over her son to and from school every day.
I have no choice but to send my son on the school bus, but definitely I'll probably be with him. So, you know, it's better more eyes than no eyes, you know, for the kids' sake.
And while an arrest has been made, investigators are asking anyone with further information to come forward by either calling Crime Line or contacting police. For now, reporting in Sanford, Mark Lehman, News 6.
A man is dead after the car he was in collided with a semi-truck this morning. It happened around 8:30 on Nova Road, north of Deer Park Road in Osceola County. FHP hasn't released any details on what led up to the crash. The driver of the semi-truck was taken to the hospital, but is expected to be okay. Both northbound lanes of Nova Road are still blocked as the investigation continues. New at noon, an ICE-related traffic stop caused a temporary hold at an Orange County high school this morning. Apopka police say 5 people were taken into custody after Florida Highway Patrol and Border Patrol stopped a vehicle near Apopka High School. FHP says 4 people ran after the vehicle was pulled over for allegedly running a stop sign. All 5 were detained and turned over to ICE. The school has since returned to normal operations. We've reached out to ICE for more information on this incident. A 16-year-old homeschooled boy accused of making a school shooting threat has been arrested. Volusia Sheriff's Office says the team posted a photo on Instagram of a handgun with an extended magazine and a book bag and tagged Mainland High School in Daytona Beach. This happened yesterday, leading to a hold while authorities investigated. They say the teen first claimed his account was hacked, but later admitted he, quote, made a mistake. He faces charges for making an electronic threat to conduct a mass shooting. Another reminder not to get behind the wheel after you've been drinking. Police in Belle Isle posted this video on social media. Just after 2 in the morning on Monday, police say a driver ran the red light at Oak Ridge Road and Hansel Avenue and nearly rammed right into a pickup truck. It turns out that truck was a Belle Isle police cruiser. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but the driver, Ricardo Vargas, was arrested for DUI. Police say one of his breath samples came in well over the legal limit. Some areas in Orange County will be under a boil water advisory for a few more days. A water main break that happened Monday off South Apopka Vineland Road near Vinings Way Boulevard is the cause. The county initially estimated the advisory would expire today, but due to bad lab test results, it has been extended through Sunday. Now remember, you need to boil your water for 1 minute before using it for things like drinking, cooking, and washing dishes. We have a map on the homepage of our website, clickorlando.com, right now that shows the impacted areas, and we will let you know when that advisory is lifted. President Trump is en route to Alaska for his high-stakes meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss ending the war in Ukraine that Russia started more than 3 years ago. CBS's Willie James Inman is in Anchorage with the latest.
After boarding Air Force One on his way to Alaska, President Trump warned of very severe consequences if today's summit with Russian President Vladimir Putin does not go well.
It will be very severe. I'm not doing this for my health.
The president said discussions about territory will come up during the high-stakes face-to-face meeting, but stressed it's Ukraine that will make the final decision.
But I'm not here to negotiate for Ukraine. I'm here to get them at a table.
For Ukraine and other Western allies, the best-case scenario would be for Putin to agree to a ceasefire today, which would pave the way for more detailed talks about ending the war. European leaders quietly worry that Trump will be swayed by Putin. Russia's air assaults on Ukraine have only grown more intense since Trump took office, even as Putin claims to want peace.
From Putin's perspective, he wins just by having the meeting.
CBS News contributor and former U.S. ambassador to Russia, John Sullivan, has taken part in previous negotiations with Putin.
For President Trump, he's got to guard against making concessions to Putin that are going to alienate our European allies and really do political damage to himself here in the United States.
Ahead of the summit, protesters took to the streets of Anchorage and expressed skepticism that the meeting will go well. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Anchorage, Alaska.
The first week of school is coming to an end, which means it's time for us to tell you what's going on in Central Florida this weekend. Coming up, meteorologist Michelle Morgan has your 6 things to do. Here's a live look from our Mount Dora camera on this Friday. You're watching News 6 at noon. We'll be right back.
Introducing the new $25 million Gold Rush Multiplier Scratch-Off from the Florida Lottery.
I'm meteorologist Michelle Morgan here at the Osceola Heritage Park. Now, the event center, it's empty right now. It will be a different scene on Saturday. The Magic and Mythic Festival, a Renaissance festival, kicks off at 11. It is going to be so much fun and it'll be indoors. You may even run into this guy. I spoke to the event organizers about what you can expect.
It's a massive indoor Renaissance festival. We have over 200 exhibitors, live entertainment.
Yep, and you're going to have a giant dragon with meet and greets. You'll have fairies that you can have bubble time with. There'll be belly dancers.
Yep, musicians, mermaids.
Delicious food. It is family friendly. You can just be a spectator and have fun.
Yeah. Another exciting event will take place at Lou Gardens in celebration of National Honeybee Day from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Learn about honeybees from a master beekeeper. Honey and bee-related items will be available for purchase. Pack sunscreen and water for bonsai and botanicals at the Brevard Zoo. Enjoy foliage, fun, and hands-on activities with local experts. Free with zoo admission this weekend from 10 a.m. through 3. Check out the Margarita Festival with over 20 flavors, live music, tequila tastings, street food, and more. It all starts around noon this Saturday. The National Reptile Breeders Expo also will be happening all this weekend at the Ocean Center in Daytona Beach. The event starts at 10 a.m. and it's $20 per person, cash only. Children under 6 get in free. Put on your best costume and join the fun at Geek Fest. Over 60 vendors, live action role playing, and food trucks. This is a free event held at the Ocala Downtown Market from noon to 4 p.m. Do you have a fun event happening next weekend? Let me know. I'm already getting so many fun events sent my way, so keep them coming. You can head over to our News 6 app or clickorlando.com. Just click Contact Us.
So much to choose from this weekend. Let's take a live look outside. This is our Launch Credit Union camera out there at Port Canaveral. Whole lot of blue sky, all that sunshine heating us up. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is here. Of course, we now have our first hurricane of the season, and we have heat advisory, so a lot happening.
Yeah, we are seeing temperatures this afternoon maxing out back into those mid-90s, but with all that humidity that you don't see on that camera, but it's certainly there, suspended for the next several months over Central Florida. It will be making it feel even hotter. So we have heat advisories for the second day in a row. That is including all of Central Florida. If you have the News 6 weather app and you enable those notifications, you probably got it early this morning when those advisories were issued. All right, let's look at those temperatures versus feels like. This graphic we're going to use every day for now until probably October or so. You can see 91 is our temperature in DeLand, although it feels 11 degrees hotter there at 102 in DeLand. Feels like 106 in the Villages, but even along our coastline, notice Titusville right now, officially a high of 93. Feeling like 108. But now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for your Finally Friday.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
Zero highs officially today, maxing out low 90s along the coast, staying rain-free for most of us along our beaches. And then the further inland you go, the hotter it gets into those mid-90s. Now again, rain-free, as rain chances will be very low, only less than about 20% right along the immediate coastline. And the further inland, you can see rain chances do go up to about a 40%. It's going to be very much a similar setup as we had yesterday for today. You can see some scattered showers will start to develop. Not picking up anything right now on our radar, but into the 1-2 o'clock hour, there will be some scattered showers. By about 2-3 o'clock, there will still be some scattered, basically west of 95, continuing into Osceola County. And then most of it should kind of wrap up as the sun goes down. Then on Saturday, pretty much the same story. Still hot. Most likely a heat advisory will be once again issued. But then here comes those 1-2 o'clock scattered showers. Everything continues to shift. Looks like we might have a little bit more of a collision of the sea breezes over Central Florida on Saturday, so rain chances do go up a little bit on Saturday and Sunday. Daytona Beach sky cam right now, you can see the sea breeze is already pushed inland as we have no clouds out there. The water looks great, nice light conditions out there. Still rip current risks, as you can see. There's some of that conditions there. Right now it feels like 102 in Daytona Beach. But do be aware if you have family coming in or you're planning on maybe doing a little bit of a beach kind of couple days next week, the conditions are going to be really rough, all due to now Hurricane Erin. You can see high risk of rip currents between this weekend and Tuesday, but notice conditions get even worse. Tuesday looks like the worst of it could be on Wednesday. Small craft advisories, high surf advisories, things like that. So this is the latest stat on Hurricane Erin, 75-mile-per-hour winds. That west-northwest movement still something that we're going to continue to watch, and we're going to continue to watch it go from west-northwest straight north over the next couple of days, and that's really going to happen come Sunday and into Monday. But notice as it continues its northwest track, it will gain major hurricane strength. Normally we don't see our first major hurricane of the season on average till about the 1st of September, so it might be a bit of an earlier start to see a storm this intense, but then it continues to ride parallel to the east coast. I do want to show you, here's a little measurement marker. How close is that kind of the far western edge of this forecast cone? You can see over 350 miles still east of where we are here in Central Florida. So in the meantime, though, we of course will be keeping very close tabs on every update with now Hurricane Erin, and as of now, main impacts continue to stay right along our coastline.
Okay, Candace, thank you. For more than 30 years, a brand priding itself on iced tea that only costs 99 cents, now it may cost you more. Coming up, why Arizona iced tea is making the change. We'll leave you with a live look over downtown Orlando from our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Together camera. You're watching News 6 at noon. We'll be right back. We have some tea to spill. The iconic 99-cent Arizona iced tea cans may soon cost more. The co-founder of the company told the New York Times it's because President Trump doubled tariffs on Canadian aluminum from 25 to 50%. The 22-ounce tall boys have stayed at 99 cents for nearly 30 years and make up about half of Arizona's $2 billion annual can sales. The company hopes the tariff dispute gets resolved, but says if not, you'll have to pay more. A setback for SpaceX. The California Coastal Commission just rejected the company's plan to double the number of rocket launches from Vandenberg Space Force Base. The proposal would have taken launches from about 50 this year to 100 next year. But the commission says there is not enough information on the project, and they're concerned about impacts.
When these rockets launch, houses roughly 11 miles away in Lompoc shake. Cabinets and pictures go askew in Carpinteria, roughly 75 miles away, and it's heard as far as Ojai, which is 97 miles away.
Commissioners say they want to work with Vandenberg and SpaceX to reduce impacts, but for now, they are officially opposing increased launches, including some of the larger Falcon Heavy rockets. Take a break from those summer reruns and try out the all-new primetime schedule on News 6 Plus. Matt and Ginger have a new take on the day's news on News 6 tonight. That's at 9. Then go in-depth as we track the tropics and answer your weather questions with meteorologist Jonathan Kagas at 9:30. Then watch the late news an hour earlier. It's all tonight on News 6 Plus. Download our streaming app for free. Search WKMG in your smart TV's app store. It's also available on Roku, Apple TV, and Fire TV. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Researchers have made a discovery about an ancient Roman city. New research shows that after the volcanic eruption in 79 AD, some people moved back to Pompeii to live among the ruins. This finding comes from an ongoing excavation at Pompeii Archaeological Park in southern Italy. But the park's director says it is impossible to know exactly how many returned. So far, 2/3 of Pompeii has been unearthed, and the city had about 20,000 residents at the time of the eruption. Fascinating stuff. Candace.
All right, you can see Hurricane Erin once again, now a hurricane. It's the first one of the season. As you can see, it is really becoming better organized. Hurricane hunters went in there, found hurricane strength. We're going to continue to track it. The next update for the forecast cone is at 5 o'clock.
Okay, Candace, thank you. Switch over to the News 6 Plus app for News 6 Extra right now.